Welcome back. I'm Calvin, Statue Fanatic, here with another episode of Collected on a Budget. Today we're going to take a look at a really cool figure that is from one of my favorite comic books of all times, The Killing Joke. This figure is based on the story and artwork by Alan Moore and Brian Bolland. This has made so many top lists in terms of trade paperbacks and graphic novels. It is an incredible story. If you've never read this story before, I would recommend that this be one of those comics that you read if you don't ever read any other comics. It is one of those comics where you put it down and you go, I get it. I get why the Joker is the Joker. I get why Batman is Batman. They're kind of their yin to their yang, and without Batman, there'd be no Joker. But what's really cool about this is that there's a couple of key things that happen. This is the first glimpse that we get of the Joker's history or his origin story. This is the most accepted origin story of the Joker, and also in the Red Hood as well. But one of the cool things about this, or one of the interesting things about this book, is it shows that we are all just one bad day away from being the Joker. And this illustrates this so beautifully. So again, if you have never read this book, pick this book up. It is worth reading. Now, let's get started with this statue that's based on the incredible work of Alan Moore and Brian Bolland. This statue is one of DC's designer series, the Joker. We're going to take a look at the box and then we'll get into the statue here. So as I turn the box around, it's this typical box. I'm not a big fan of boxes, but a lot of people like to see that. And this is the artwork that's on it. And on the back of it, it shows two statues of Wonder Woman that are also part of this collection, and on the side you have the Joker again, and then on the bottom it just talks about the edition size, which is this is 324/5000 of this piece. All right, so let's put this aside and we're going to talk about my favorite part, the statue. Now, here we go. This is the Joker from The Killing Joke. But before we get started, I want to ask you a few questions. First, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures and I want you to tell me what you think these pictures have in common. Check this out, it's Trigon from Figurama. And what about this one? This is Darth Maul from XM Studios. And what about Gamora Premium Format from Sideshow? And lastly, one of my favorite, Witchblade from the Top Cow universe, also an XM piece. You might ask, what do all of these things have in common? They were all sculpted by the same sculptor who sculpted this, David Gerard. He is the sculptor of this and also those incredible pieces that I just showed you, which again proves my point that you can collect on a budget and not break the bank and get some amazing art from some incredible creators and sculptors. And this is no exception. This piece is absolutely a masterpiece in my opinion when it comes to the Joker and capturing who he is in this particular novel, graphic novel. As you can see, he's standing there with this camera in his hand. And if you've read the novel, you know that this camera has some significance because something very controversial happens with this camera in the comics. And even on here, I thought you could actually see the actual brand of the camera, which is an actual brand, Wentz, and you can see that actually sculpted on the camera as well. So we'll just start with his portrait, man. This grinning, sinister look that the Joker has is just amazing. It's sculpted really well. There's tons of sculpting detail in his teeth and his lips and his eyes. Man, it looks phenomenal. This is my opinion of this, of course, but to me, it just looks fantastic. The hair, the sculpt of his hair all looks really awesome. The hat also looks great. I love the hat that he's wearing. Just a fantastic piece. Going all the way down to his necktie here, the bow that he has. It looks fantastic, guys. And also his hands and all of that, his gloves, very well sculpted. Lots of detail, lots of different sculpts, including the camera. All the controls and things on the camera are sculpted. It looks great. And then if you look at the actual trench coat that he's wearing, oh my God, this trench coat is just the bomb. There are so many types of sculpts going on. There's these folds and creases in it and various different colors. And we'll get to the paint application, I guess, but there's various different types of shading and colors on this jacket as well. Just tons of creasing, and it just flows almost just the way that you would imagine it would really flow in real life. It's just a really great piece. There's buttons on here that look really cool. The stitching looks really great. And then the vest that he's wearing underneath here, this gold vest has these buttons on it that look fantastic, as well as this also sculpted extremely well. The pockets you can see are sculpted all the way down to the seams on his pants. Again, lots of folds and creases from him standing. You can see where the pants crease. And then there's these cuffs right here where his pants are cuffed. They look fantastic as well, all the way down to this white stocking type thing that he's wearing, and his shoes. All look absolutely stunning in my opinion, of course, but if you've seen this in person, you probably would agree with me. And to my friends that kind of called me out for not doing any DC pieces, I think as far as collecting on the budget, this is one of those pieces that are still available. And it is also, they re-released this in a 7-inch scale as well, but this piece is still available on Sideshow's website, and I also think it's still available on Big Bad Toy Store for a little bit less than it is on Sideshow. Back to the sculpting here, the creasing here for the trench coat, just all around. I mean, his ears, everything just looks so fantastic. And then the camera has this lens in it. It looks like a reflection in there. The cufflinks, everything on this guy looks just simply amazing. Let's talk about the paint application on this. This has multiple shades of purple all throughout his outfit, dark areas, light areas. It looks great. And these creases, my God, it looks like there's either shadows, shading, that type of stuff. The same thing with the stitching around the seams, more sculpting detail. His cufflinks also look really well. And then the base itself has sculpted into it. It says the Joker, and then there is a sculpt or an etched of the portrait of the Joker in the base, very simple base. And then looking around here, you can see the belt that goes to his coat here. And this is all sculpted, by the way. Even this here is, even though it's moved, it may be something like polyurethane, but it actually has some give to it so that it doesn't break. Another great design detail on this. So from head to toe, this is a really cool piece. And that is going to basically conclude my over-the-top gushing review of the Joker based on Brian Bolland and Alan Moore's artwork and story from The Killing Joke. Very, very cool rendition of this. If you are a Joker fan, Batman fan, this is definitely something that you would want to pick up. Sculpted by an incredible sculptor and artist. And I tell you, you will not be disappointed if you pick this guy up. But if you want to stay on top of the latest in the world of collecting, make sure you head over to mcecentral.com. That's Marvelous Collectible and Entertainment, where you can find some of the latest unboxings, some of the coolest shows out there that deal with collecting and comics and omnibus, and some shows where we just sit around and chat about all things collectible. Until next time, my friend, peace.